welcome back. We're here for our second Try It special edition today. This time we're going to try it with audio, so this one's going to be real special. You won't have to read our lips, so that's kind of nice.
Do I have your attention? Can you hear me? I think we're okay now.
I can hear you. It's I don't think that was outside the studio.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think us hearing each other is the problem.
We had a great conversation that no one heard. So
riveting.
Yeah, it was riveting. So you missed it. Sorry. Okay. Thank you to KC Securities for sponsoring the show. Dan was co-host with me from Monday to Thursday. He's also been doing the weather going forward, so you can see Dan a little bit later in the show. So thank you very much for KC Securities for sponsoring both the morning and afternoon of special report. Now, the Ford government is coming back at 1, so the afternoon special report will be Doug Ford's news conference, as well as some local news. Today, it's just him and Christine Elliott. Now, she's the Deputy Premier and she's the Minister of Health. However, they are making an announcement, so it's probably something healthcare related.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably only imagine things getting extended, longer periods of, keeping up what we're doing now, social distancing, and the fun we've been having. So I don't think it's going to be catching anybody off guard. I hope not. I hope this isn't some catastrophic big announcement and sending everybody into a frenzy. I'm sure it's going to be status quo for just what we've been doing for the last few months. Yeah,
I mean, the cases are steadily declining. Our rolling 5-day average is about 185 cases over the last 5 days, roughly. So we have been below 200 cases. We've had a couple days where it popped back up, but it looks like we have control of COVID-19, particularly the places we needed to really get control. It was long-term care homes, and they've done that very well. I mean, there's been outbreaks, I believe, 356 of our 626 long-term care homes have had outbreaks.
Wow.
And I believe only about 55 or so, actually, I have the numbers later, but only about 55 to 60 of them are actually have an active outbreak. So they've gotten rid of about 300 outbreaks, and for example, like the one here in town, Extended Maple Care.
Oh, right.
Mapleview, sorry, they had their outbreak of 3. An outbreak is 2 or more cases. If it's just one case, it's called a suspect outbreak, and they do put in stricter protocols.
Right, the same sort of measures.
And we've seen that here with the last couple of, our last 3 cases were all with workers from long-term care homes. And what they do is they put in the suspect outbreak protocols. So that means more physical distancing, and also internally in the home, the way they distribute food and other things like that changes slightly.
Right, and before our audio was cut off as well, we were saying how great of a job we've done in Sault Ste. Marie, especially in our old age homes.
24 cases in total.
Right, and I mean, where we have cases in these homes, that doesn't end up outbreaking throughout the whole residence. So whatever they're doing in there, they keep it up, because it has been absolutely fantastic, especially for myself who has family there. You get a little worried hearing there's a case above their floor, below their floor, on their floor. You don't know, especially from looking on the outside in, but I think we're in good hands here.
Yeah, and I mean, we do know that we have at least 6 cases in long-term care homes in Algoma, because those homes told us. They released press releases saying, yes, we've had. So when Extended Care Mapleview had the 3, because the only reason we knew there wasn't an outbreak at Extended Care Mapleview was that first sweep where they tested all of the residents of long-term care homes across the province. And the 3 in the home were asymptomatic. They didn't even have symptoms when they tested positive. And then you have the 3 staff members from the 3 different homes as well. So as far as we know, there's only been cases at 3 of our long-term care homes and only 1 outbreak. So that's pretty good.
that's pretty amazing. Yeah. Pat yourselves on the back, frontline workers.
Yeah, and it amazes me actually how few cases. I mean, 24 is a low number.
Yeah.
If you look at any other public health unit across the province, no one has less than 24.
Right, and I mean, for my age demographic, you hear people all the time saying, oh, I want to get out of my hometown. Haven't been hearing them too often now because of how good of a spot we're in. I feel safe in Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know if I could say that even as far as North Bay or Parry Sound or Timmins or areas like that. Fantastic, Sault Ste. Marie. My jaw is on the floor for how good of a job we've been doing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And the hospital, the way that they've been responding to this has been very, very good. So, yeah. So anyways, moving forward, we have a bunch of stuff for you today, including the Liberals are way up in the polls from even where they were just 6 months ago. There's actually no way right now for a Conservative Party to even get a minority government.
Wow.
The polls are so spread out, and I'll get into that after one of the breaks, but the polls are so wide that even if the Liberals in worst case scenario and the Conservatives with absolute best case scenario, The Conservatives are still behind by 22 seats.
You sound pretty surprised by that. Is this surprising to you?
No.
Really?
No, because anytime you go into any sort of
pandemic,
crisis. War, crisis, people tend to rally around the leader of the country.
Right.
And that's why, like, if you look at America, for example, most presidents, if they're at war of any kind, they usually stay in power. So if you look back at Bush #2, he stayed in power because of the Iraq War. If you go back and you look at like World War I and World War II, there was no changes in U.S. presidents. So
if Trump doesn't get traction, what you're saying is you're predicting World War III.
Yeah, that's the only way Trump's winning right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, he's so far behind it. We doubled that poll yesterday, but Biden's up 14 points on Trump right now.
Well, I mean,
across, and even in Florida, where Trump won handily in the last election, he's behind by 7 points.
I mean, he
won by 22 the previous election.
If you look at the charts too of the world, you'll see the steady declines. Like in Canada, we're starting to get flat on our curve down, and the States is shooting up like no country has ever, even at the start of it, just now.
Yep.
How don't you care for your people? Mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, like there's an article I was going to talk about.
Yeah, please do.
And Dr. Fauci said the next 2 weeks are critical for the U.S. And Donald Trump got up at his campaign rally where 6,200 people showed up for 19,000 seat arena. However, largest gathering in the U.S. since COVID-19 started, other than in hospitals. And yeah, he is so, like, literally Fauci saying lockdowns and Trump saying we need to stop testing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't want positive cases, just don't test.
Don't test, yeah.
I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, if that was a thought that actually, I mean, it had to have actually went through his head to spew it out of his mouth, but did he just go, oh yeah, that makes sense, they'll buy it? Or what does he take the American people for?
I don't know, but I mean, even the medical advisors around him are all saying the opposite of what he's saying. It's not just Dr. Fauci. I mean, you have the Surgeon General and
well, you can't make any money if people aren't working, so don't get tested, go back to work, make sure money is going back into Trump's pockets. Make sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're spending their way into oblivion right now. We've spent a lot of money on COVID-19, but I mean,
we also value human lives with that spending money too. A crazy concept.
Yeah, and we did like in the States, they gave a one-time stimulus check for like $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah, and we did $2,000 a month for 6 months. And it just amazes me the different responses between European governments, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, compared to the response of the American government to this problem. And like even Ford the other day stopped people being kicked out for commercial rents.
Wow.
Because like less than 25% of mall tenants right now are actually able to afford to pay.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised it's even 25%.
Yeah. So we're gonna go over to Dan now. Dan is the owner of KC Securities, which is our sponsor actually for a special report, and he's gonna give a little teaser for you on the weather that'll be coming up after the break. How's it going, Dan?
Yeah, it's going well, Chris. Thank you very much, and welcome back, Alex. It's nice to see you.
We're trying to get the band back together.
Sault Ste. Marie here in the background, Sault Ste. Marie City Hall. Chris, how's City Hall looking?
Well, it still looks like, I think that's an old picture because the City Hall doesn't seem fully renovated. And I believe that was supposed to be done in 2019, I believe?
Yes.
Something like that?
Sorry, my earpiece just cut out while you were talking there. So.
No, I was just saying that must be an old photo. That can't be live because City Hall's not been renovated yet.
Well, you know, try my best, right? So we're currently at 15 degrees. I'm going to be back right after the commercial break with your full weekend forecast. So just want to make a quick mention, though, we are starting a Weather Watcher segment, so you can actually send in a photo to us with your name and location to ontvweather@gmail.ca, and make sure you send those in and we'll get them up on the show. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
A message from the Government of Canada.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern People's Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
And welcome back to Special Report. I'd like to thank KC Securities for being our title sponsor for both the morning and midday editions of Special Report. We're coming to you at 9 a.m. this morning because we had some technical difficulties at 8 a.m., so we had to come back here at 9. Thank you very much for joining us. So I want to do a bunch of Facebook shout-outs. I'd like to say hi to Tammy, Nancy, Ineki, Beth, Isabel, and also Susan. Thank you very much. And actually, Susan said, nice to see you back, Alex.
Yes, Sue said, nice to see you. It's my first day back after my COVID staycation. And Sue, it is great to be seen. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning and putting a smile on my face. I really appreciate that.
Yes. And now we're going to go over to Dan for the weather. What's going on, Dan?
All right, Chris, thank you. And again, welcome back, Alex. It's nice to see you. So I'm going to get into get right into the weather forecast here. We're currently sitting at about 15 degrees. We're going to get up to a high of 27 degrees today. It's going to be very warm, humidex of 30. So you're going to want to have that sunscreen if you're out. UV index is 9. It's going to be very high. Not too bad for winds, but we are going to see some winds from the south, about 20 kilometers an hour starting in the afternoon. And then tonight it's going to cloud over with a 40% chance of showers this evening after midnight. And there is a slight risk of a thunderstorm, but nothing too major. Low of 16 tonight. For Saturday, we're going to look at overcast with winds becoming northwest, 30 kilometers in the morning, and a high of 23 Celsius with the humidex of about 26 as well. The UV index won't be as bad tomorrow, about 3, so that's a little bit better. Low of 17, and it's going to clear right up tomorrow night. This is the kind of weather that Chris likes, only 17 degrees and clear. Sunny and a high of 24 on Sunday, and high pressure kicks in on Sunday, and then we are going to see a low of 12 on Sunday, and it's just it's going to clear right up for next week, and high pressure is going to be in. It's going to be a very hot Canada Day. So, I know Chris and I have talked about this all week, and Chris really wants that hot Miami weather. So I'm going to do my best, Chris, to make sure that you get that.
Well, I'm holding you account on that one. So, yeah, I'm expecting warm weather there, Dan. Since when you became the weather person earlier in the week, we got 60 straight hours worth of rain.
Don't mess this up for us, Dan.
Yeah, we want some sun now, okay?
Do my best.
Yeah. Also, if you want to let us know about any birthdays or anniversaries, you can in the Facebook Live chat, and we can then announce it live on air. So if you can do that in the Facebook chat, or you just want to say good morning to you, can just say good morning in there, or you can welcome Alex back or whatever. But as you may have noticed, this week, sitting next to me, Colette has not been here. I'm just going to read this. On Friday, June 19th, the Superior Media team was horrified to learn that a friend and co-worker On TV news broadcaster Colette Linden was a victim of a hot oil accident that left her with second and third degree burns on her hands, arms, hips, and feet. It was because of the quick reaction of her oldest son that Colette received the necessary medical treatment quickly, as well as minimizing fire damage to the family home. Colette was rushed to Surrey Hospital, where she was placed in isolation, free of all contaminants. Because of the severity of Colette's injuries and the numerous locations she was burned, she has underwent numerous consultations with doctors and surgeons to determine what extent of reconstructive surgery will be required. It is unclear when these surgeries will take place, as healing is slow and must be done at a certain stage before they can be performed. Doctors have explained that she will be unable to return to her daily life for 8 to 10 weeks. Colette was originally from Hamilton, which is where her immediate family resides. She's a single mom of 2 beautiful boys, whom she misses immensely and loves with her whole heart. Our hearts break with the thought that she was unable to attend or celebrate her son's virtual graduation or console her young son, who witnessed the horrific ordeal. Because of the current COVID-19 restrictions and her severe injuries, Colette has been alone, unable to connect with family or friends or receive emotional, physical connection and support she needed for her well-being. We are asking this great community to come together and give a little to assist with overwhelming expenses, months of therapy and childcare that Colette will incur over the next several months. We have started a GoFundMe page. If you go to our Facebook page, you will see it there, and you can click through. We started fundraising last night with the goal of $5,000, and we have already raised $960. And I'd also like to just say one other thing about her son Connor, her older son. He's 18. If it wasn't for the fact that he had taken a first aid course and knew what to do, this would be a different story. So if you can donate any money towards Colette at this time to the GoFundMe page, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you donate $25 or more, I will give you a shout out on the air on Monday morning. And we're going to go to a commercial break. Thank you.
Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern People's Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
And welcome back. And now I'm going to throw it over to Danny Dupuis. She's got some stuff on the local graduations.
Thanks, Chris. And yes, I do. It's been a very festive Sault Ste. Marie over these past few days with graduations, pop-up banners from Batman Advertising, and so much more in the community. I mean, parents are taking the time now to recognize their children for their graduation and for their birthdays. And yesterday, we actually had the pleasure of being at one of those graduation celebrations. Emma Burns graduated from Superior Heights, and as you can see, she had her teachers, she had a few classmates, and they were going around in trucks and banners. And what the school ended up doing, there's Emma right there, congratulations. And what the students and the teachers were doing, they grouped into 4 different groups, and one group went to the east side, one went to the west, one was central, and they were just going around to all the graduations. Here's a little bit of the video. They have this beautiful banner going up that she was able to get her her cap, no gown, and unfortunately she hasn't been given her diploma yet because the individuals who print the diploma, they can't do it right now. And we also had Cora's graduation yesterday. So there's Yash, one of a Cora student who just graduated. We'd also like to wish Alyssa Luciani a happy graduation, who is also a part of the Cora group as well. So there's lots going on, and even on my street yesterday we were able to witness 4 different graduations. So we just want to take this time and say congratulations to all the graduates out there, whether it's grade 8, kindergarten, all those grades. You know, it's very special what's going on, and we hope that you've enjoyed your little things that the schools have been doing. And back to the desk.
Thank you very much for that, Danny. And I just posted the GoFundMe link on our Facebook Live chat, so you'll be able to actually see that there. And thank you very much to Isabel for the kind words about Colette. Yeah. Alrighty, what's going on locally?
Well, I mean, besides, you know what, those teachers, thumbs up. I mean, there's no need to take your time out of the day to go and do that for your students, but trying to give a little bit of normalcy to this crazy year for anybody that's graduating right now. The experiences they're not going to be able to have are immense, and there's so many things they won't be able to do normally, but it's just nice to see that they're getting the recognition they deserve. But we got a little bit of an update on one of the weirder news stories I think I've heard, especially from the Sioux and surrounding area. Yesterday, we reported here on the special report that a Sudbury woman who was left stranded on Spanish River after a fight with her fellow canoe partner took a turn. The woman who abandoned her friend may face charges, the police have said, and the woman could face a possible mischief, endangering human life charge, but police have not yet decided to proceed with the case. I haven't heard of anything so wacky in a news story in quite some time. Chris, if you were stranded when you were canoeing with me, for say, you gonna come press me for charges?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have to, vice versa too.
I mean, I'm not a police officer, and I don't know the law specifically, but that does sound like you're endangering someone's life. There's got to be something in there for endangering another fellow human's life.
And that was my first thought too. When I heard this, I said, can they charge? That's endangering life.
I mean, it's not assault or anything, but the outcome could be much different than what the story we're talking about.
It could be even worse than assault. It could be worse than a broken arm or something like that.
Yeah, what happens if a bear comes across her or something?
Right.
Like, you never know, like, you're out in the wilderness, you never know what's going to show up.
I just want to know what the argument was about. Was it about,
apparently it was enough that they didn't want to be in the same canoe together.
Yeah, but how many arguments have you had where you've been like, well, that was a pretty stupid argument, we got a little heated over something. We'll be talking about sports a little later. I'm sure you got heated defending your teams before, but would you leave somebody out stranded in the wilderness because of it? Nah.
Probably not, no.
Probably not.
I'd at least get them back to their car and then they can drive home.
Chris, what a guy. What a guy.
I'm a
Right.
Boy Scout of the Year over here.
Yeah. We've got the emergency orders being extended to July 15th. I don't think that's catching anybody blindsided. Our numbers are going in the right direction, so if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
Well, they need that to be able to make all these changes with what opens and what doesn't open.
Right.
And they don't want to have to go back to the legislature every single time they want to pass something at Queen's Park. So this makes it much, much easier to do. Even these daily announcements, those would have to actually turn into bills if we didn't have emergency orders.
Really? They wouldn't just be able to go out and just say, hey, we're doing a live stream today? They'd have to go and get approval for that?
No, not the live stream. The content of the announcement.
I was going to say. I was like,
they don't need approval to do a live stream.
I was going to say, I don't think Dougie needs to.
No. But if they announce funding for something, right?
Right.
If they say we're going to put X amount in here, normally you would have to go to the legislature to do that at Queen's Park.
Right. And keeping it with government changes, they are finally about to announce the details of the Federal Student Service, which is a grant for students who are in tough times. I know we have a lot of international students here who I can't even imagine just being stuck in a city that's all the way across the world where maybe you don't have an income right now. What are you to do? So many questions up in the air, but hopefully this is going to rest easy a few different students in post-secondary, where Trudeau said, I want to help. An online platform will finally provide more information about who's eligible for the grants, the number of hours needed to qualify for various levels of grant money, how to apply, and how the applications work. But if you want all of that and more, SiouxOnline.com is the place you can head for that story. We'll lay out all of the details so far.
Awesome. And let's talk sports.
Oh, let's
talk hockey first.
Right.
What's going on? Vancouver's been cut. Didn't make the team.
I think they were down to 6 potential cities, and I believe they're down to 4 now, with the last 2 Canadian teams being Edmonton and Toronto. But Vancouver is out of it. Their BC health officials have said, we're going to put the health and safety of our players and our people ahead of anything else. The NHL is still slated to start training camps in July 10th, but they will need those hub cities. The initial plan was to have one in the east and one in the west, but things are so far up in the air. I'm cautiously optimistic that things get underway. And for BC, kind of surprising that they didn't choose there, or not that they didn't choose there, but that they weren't in the running anymore. Only 15 people in the province out of 5.1 million are currently hospitalized due to COVID, so they're doing a fantastic job over in BC, and a city that the players love to play in. It's a beautiful city, and that's just not in the running. But if you're an Oilers fan or a Toronto fan, you might get home ice advantage. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah. And some exciting news.
Oh, here it is.
Liverpool clinched the Premier League title yesterday because it's taken 30 years and 58 days, and thank you very much. Yeah, who's counting? But Manchester City beat Chelsea 2-1, so Liverpool actually didn't have to play yesterday, but now they are so far ahead in the points that they have clinched the Premier League title. And here's where it gets really interesting. They have won in the last 13 months the Premier League title, Champions League title, Club World Cup title, the UEFA Super Cup, all in 13 months.
Oh my goodness.
They're about to demolish several domestic records in the Premier League. First, most games won with games to spare. In other words, you secured it so far in advance.
Right.
The record was 5, which Manchester City, ironically, actually did back in 2017-2018 season. And Manchester United, back when they were really dominant in the early 2000s, they did it in 2000, 2001. That's back when David Beckham played for them and so on. And they had those
really
amazing
throwing
teams.
it back.
Yeah, really doing a throwback there. So, yes, they have won finally. Way to go, Reds.
Do you know how many games they had in hand left?
I
You said they
believe
broke the record.
I believe it's 7.
They beat it by 2. No way.
Yeah, and they actually have the possibility of actually setting the record for the most points in a season. The Manchester City did set the record at 100 points back in the 2017-2018 season. However, if Liverpool wins their last few games, they'll have 107 points. And to put that into perspective, you get 3 points for a win. So even if they have 2 losses in their final 7 games, they'll still be at 101, and they'll break the record. Yeah.
It's a good day to be a Liverpool fan, huh?
Yeah, it's a fantastic time to be a Liverpool fan. And now we're going to go back to Dan for a little weather to take us out.
All right, I'm just going to give you a quick recap today. So we're going to go up to a high of 27 degrees, humidex of 30, and we're going to get down to a low of about 16 tonight. There is that chance of some showers and thunderstorms, so keep that in mind. And tomorrow, high of 23 and a low of 17. head over back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan. And we'll see you back here at 1 p.m. Also, stay tuned for news for the rest of the day. See you later.